Welcome back to the National Aquatic Centre, day 2 here in Beijing, China, host of the Beijing 2022 wheelchair curling event at this 13th edition of the Paralympic Winter Games. Our featured game is Estonia versus USA. USA are coming into the Paralympic Games on form, having bounced back to the World Championships and finished 4th here in October. Their opponents on day 2, Estonia, competing in their first Paralympic wheelchair event, and the first Estonian athletes at the Paralympics since 2002, Salt Lake City. Estonia will be throwing the red stones, United States of America throwing the yellows in this 11-team round robin. That's Shui Ron Ron, the Paralympic mascot, giving everybody a warm welcome for this next session. It's a long event, running for 8 days across the full duration of the event. Lead for Estonia, Caitlin Riedebach. Second player for Estonia, Matas. And then the third player, Lauri Murasov.
Canada versus Latvia.
And of course, the fourth player and skip, Andrei Koitmai. And now for the Americans, Oyuna Aranchimeg throwing the lead stones. Second player, Dave Samsa. The third player, Steve Empt. Needs to work on keeping that mask on. And the fourth player and skip, Matt Toombs. So there we have it, that's the lineups. Matt Toombs there on the right-hand side, previously playing third until just recently, but moving up to fourth positions, and that's really proved to be a change of fortunes for this United States team, finishing in last position 4 years ago, but really professionalizing their approach and paying dividends. Canada, Norway, Sweden and Latvia still undefeated here in this round robin. The United States still to get their first win here, as are Estonia. Sinja Falkenberg, the alternate for Estonia, also works for the Estonian Paralympic Committee. They'll be throwing the red stones here. Participating in their first Paralympic Winter Games. All of these players, the first time we've seen Estonia in the wheelchair curling event. Terrific honor for those athletes. And for the United States of America, Pamela Wilson, the alternate. She is the oldest competitor in the event at 66 years old. The team's just making their final preparations before we get underway here. A nice crowd starting to pour into the National Aquatic Centre, constructed for the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing, the only city to have hosted both the Summer and the Winter Olympics. Affectionately now known as the Ice Cube. A terrific venue, and all the teams praising the setup. They all feel really happy and comfortable out there on the ice, and the nerves starting to settle too. We did see a bit of a shaky start, especially from the Americans yesterday. So Caitlin Riedebach gets us underway here on day 2, Estonia versus USA. The teams do play for the last stone advantage in the first end. They do that through the last stone draws in the pre-game practices. Both teams get about 10 minutes to practice. And the United States of America won that with a total of 99 centimeters for their 2 draws against 310 for the for Estonia. So by virtue of that, the United States will have the last stone in the first end, and those draws are significant for other reasons as well, including ranking come the end of the round robin. One of the main changes in the format from 2018 to 2022 is the removal of the tiebreaker system to differentiate between the teams at the end of the week, and those last stone draws can come into play and may be the difference between you staying in the competition and being knocked out and sent home. So Kathleen Riedeback, right-hander, throwing the clockwise draw here. This Estonian team didn't actually play in the World Championship, having failed to qualify through the B Championship, but they did manage to amass enough qualification points to see them through to the Paralympic Games from their attendance in 2019 and 2020, when they finished 8th and 10th respectively.
13-5?
13-5.
This is Batoyun Arunchibeg, also known as Oyuna. Born in Mongolia and came to visit the United States in her 20s to visit a friend, and was in a car accident which left her with spinal injuries.
Nice rock,
And separated from her son. It's a very sad story, but she managed to come through those difficulties and relocated to the United States as a result, and created a new life for herself, and eventually found wheelchair curling, which she absolutely loves. And that's a super draw there, right round on the anti-clockwise handle. So here's Mait Matas, the 52-year-old. Enjoys playing wheelchair tennis and wheelchair basketball as well. Has a daughter called Maris. Plays out of the curling club Tallinn. He started playing wheelchair curling when he was 46, so that was in 2016, and a friend invited him to come along. So a nice draw there by the Estonians, and Dave Samsa looks like he's going to be asked to open things up here. So Dave Samsa also right-handed. Plays out at the Green Bay Curling Club. Has 2 children. And works in sales, enjoys golf, fishing, skiing, and spending time with friends.
Yep.
14 kuskil, 14,5.
Mait Matas here. He also works as a video operator for a major security service in Estonia. So many of these athletes balancing full-time jobs with their training and competition commitments. So a couple of lovely stones from the Estonian second player.
This one? I got to go back one too. All right, whatever you want.
I like this one. Yeah.
All right. 9.
You got it. Deep breath. To the broom.
Dave Samson playing for that side delivery, getting the delivery stick extremely low to the ice. Those delivery sticks can be up to 2.45 meters in length. Not a lot of rotation on this one from Dave Samson. It over curls and hits the guard.
Good way.
If you're unfamiliar with curling, welcome along. The aim of the game is to get your stones closer to the middle of the house, the painted circles that your opposition team at the end of the end. So in one end, both teams will play 8 stones each, 4 players throwing 2 each. And once they all come to rest, they'll work out who is closest to the middle and how many is closer than the opposition's nearest one. Only one team can score in an end, and they'll do it 8 times over and have a cumulative score to determine the victor. It's an 11-team round robin here at the Paralympic Games, the top 4 qualifying for the semi-final and having a chance to take home some of that Paralympic hardware that they dream of. So as things stand, USA lying 1. We've got that red stone just at the back of that red 4-foot circle, just narrowly closer by the looks of it to the middle than the
Then if it skirts by, you get this one.
yellow American stone. My apologies, Estonia lying in short position.
5 3/8.
So as things stand, they would score 1 if there wasn't any more stones played in the end. It's not like archery, you don't score points for how close you are to what circle you hit within the painted target. So this is Steve Emp throwing 3rd stones for the United States.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
Yep.
Well, good shot to open things up there from Steve Emp. He is the driving force in this team, a real source of positivity, and the only remaining player from the 2018 event when they finished 12th. Steve Emp's talked about the kind of the recommitment that he's had to make in this last cycle. There's a bit of a change in management within USA curling, and they really a change in approach as well, and they really demanded more from their athletes. And the program that they set forward was difficult to commit to for Steve, who works in education, but he found a way. He couldn't stand the idea of not coming to another Winter Paralympic Games. It feels like they've got a great chance of making the playoffs this week. They've really gelled as a team over the last few years. Of course, that 4th place finish at the World Championships in October.
Do I go 5 3/8?
Here in the Ice Cube.
9, okay.
9's fine.
Yep. Little out.
It ain't coming back.
He doesn't seem too happy with that one as he sent it a little bit wider than planned. Oh, he's just removed his own one. He was trying to peel the guard there. Well, after a great first stone, that was a huge mistake, and now a great opportunity here for Estonia in this first end. It's a really important game for USA here on day 2. They'll fancy themselves as favourites in this game against Estonia. Not really a game that they can afford to drop in their attempts to make the semi-finals. So here's the talisman of this Estonian team, Andre Koitmai. Used to compete in freestyle wrestling. Began curling 2015 in the Tondiraba Ice Hall in Tallinn. He also works as a divisional manager at an Estonian telemarketing company. A little bit wide with this one, and wrecks the guard. And actually nearly spins the yellow into the house. Doesn't quite. So it doesn't really manage to punish the United States for that previous miss.
Yep.
So
13-5.
Matt Toombs, the American skip, makes his way from one end to the other. 45 meters even between the playing ends of the ice. That's how far they've got to throw it. And Steve Empt holding the brush at the other end there, the target where Matt Toombs will set the stone off on a clear line between the stone and the brush, and then the rotation will take effect on the stone, and it will start to curl back into the middle where they want it to end up. Playing out of the Warsaw Curling Club.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Looking a little bit shy of pace here. Well, that's going to be a problem for the United States. Estonia still line 2 here, and that yellow blocking the path in now for the United States with their last stone advantage. So this really is a great chance for Estonia. So this is Estonia's final stone of this first end. Still one to come for the United States.
Peaks tulema küll vist, ma arvan. Palju said siin?
Well, it doesn't look like it's going to have enough pace to quite reach the house, but blocks off the tap up, and he'll be delighted with that one. This is going to require a really accurate draw shot. A draw being the kind of stone that just comes down dead weight and stops in the house. The other type of shot typically thrown is a takeout, which is kind of does what it says on the tin, removes the opposition stones, usually. So this is going to be a draw here for Matt Toombs. The accountant throwing final stone of the first end for the United States, and he'll be counting on this one being a good one. Otherwise, Estonia may well get off to a flyer here. So has he got enough weight? Starting to curl now and coming down into the house. It doesn't look too far away, this one. Has it got enough steam? Not quite. Just comes up a fraction short, but at least outcounts that red stone on the right-hand side of the house. It's only going to be a score of 1 for Estonia there. Still a great start. Really well done. A great start to the game there for Estonia, stealing 1 in the first end. It's Estonia 1, United States of America 0.
5 stones, 5 yellow stones up front. We can't have that from skip.
So 1 shot to 0 for Estonia. A couple of volunteers just helping out just to organize the stones. And we're ready to get this second end underway. If you've watched some curling during the Olympic Games, you may be noticing some differences. There's no hack, which would normally be there just around that letter D at the back of the sheet. This is on sheet D. There are 4 sheets of ice. 4 lanes, if you like. We call them sheets. So no hack and no sweepers either. That's one of the main, that really is the main difference. It just requires the players to be all the more accurate when they let the stones go. They don't have that buffer, they don't have the sweepers helping to manipulate the stones into position.
13-5. 13. You got it.
So the United States here, they're going to ignore that red stone in the center of play, and they're going to draw to the wing. Now Steve M tells a great story. Well, he tells a great story generally anyway, but he's been speaking. He's from Connecticut, and he decided to take a little holiday down to Cape Cod, about 2 hours drive, and he went to a restaurant and kind of pushed up a hill, and this guy approached him at the restaurant and said, have you ever tried curling? And this guy turned out to be Tony Colaccio, who's a very famous wheelchair curling coach in the United States of America. Passed away sadly since, but he basically said, I saw you pushing up that hill, and if you give me a year with your build, then I'll send you to the Paralympics. And he did that, and the rest is history. Steve Empt playing in his second Paralympic Games, actually. Very grateful to Tony Colaccio for his contributions at the Cape Cod Curling Club. Super draw here. Really well done there by Caitlin Riedebach. That's Chris Bowden. He's actually Canadian rather than Estonian, but coaching the Estonian team. He's the coach at the London Wheelchair Curling in London, Ontario, in Canada. Like so many of these countries, there's such a plethora of great curling coaches in Canada that many of these smaller nations will adopt a Canadian to come over and help them. That's a free guard zone violation.
Not supposed to stop it.
Yeah.
Not supposed to stop it.
Let it play out.
Don't really know what's happening here.
Stayed in, that one would have went out. And that was hitting red.
Yeah, but he would have hit that rock. We had to put them all back then.
If you run it back, I think it's good. I think it stays.
So the umpires kind of overstepped the mark here a little bit. There's a free guard zone.
Run back.
Free guard zone violation. So, and by that I mean the rule is that you're not allowed to remove the opposition stones when they're in that area out in front of the house. If it does, then it gets replaced, and the umpires jumped in, stopped the stone, and they're saying that it probably run back and would have removed the red stone in the house.
The free guard would have stayed in. This would have went out. So it was a run back. The free guard essentially would have stayed in.
The free guard would have stayed in. Yeah.
This rock would have gone.
So the point the Americans are making here is that actually the guard wouldn't have left the field of play. It would have hit that red stone in the house and stopped in the house. So the umpire just overstepping the mark here, and interesting to see how they can work this one out.
Yeah, right about there.
Here?
Yes. Yeah, that nobody touched that one. Correct. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Of course, Linda, I'm happy. Are you happy? You will be. Yeah.
Well, the great thing about curling is the sportsmanship and the spirit of curling. That's Rusty Scheiber, long-term USA wheelchair curling coach. Seems happy with that outcome. Everybody seems happy generally if there's any kind of situation in a game of curling. It can be worked out amongst the players. There's such a thing as the spirit of curling, and it really underpins the principles on which the games are played. Most things can be worked out amongst the teams. And I think this one was early enough in the end that it wouldn't make too much difference. And early enough in the game as well. Estonia didn't seem to be too concerned. Of course, they committed the violation themselves, so It was kind of up to the United States to make the final call.
9.
Yeah, Dave, good room. 9, deep breath.
Dave Samsa, previously a trap shooter.
Need more broom, Dave. That's on me.
8, 9.
Same difference.
Fine, nice
So
shot,
he
Dave.
did that in the summer and the
Go, you
fall,
want
and
to
then
with 9.
Not on.
Rusty Schreiber came to the club and recruited him to the curling world. Didn't really enjoy it at first. He thought it was a little slow, but after he learned the strategy, he was absolutely hooked on the sport, participating here in his first Paralympic Winter Games. So Matas sending down this clockwise rotation. The clockwise rotation makes it curl from right to left as we're looking at it here. If it was rotating the other way, it'd be going left to right across the ice.
You can see a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
All right, 9.
Deep breath. You got this, buddy.
Foul you. Easier. No jabby. No jabby.
There you are.
That's that rock.
Yeah. You got it, though.
I'm just saying.
He's not a fan of that
Have to
stone.
remember that.
8, 6.
Makes the peel though and opens things up.
7.
I got it.
Not sure what he wasn't
Number 2.
happy about there.
Second rock. I don't know what that. Oh, you might get it. You might get my number 2 rock, unfortunately. Well, you want to send
So one of the real arts of the game and kind of the nuances is understanding the nuances between the stones. They are made of a natural material in granite. All the rock comes from the Ailsa Craig Island off the west coast of Scotland. Can just mean that they're a little bit different. They react slightly different on the ice, and the players will move them around and change the order of them to get the maximum performance out of them. And what that means is that they can just run slightly differently. So the odd stone might run a little bit straighter than the other ones, might curl a little bit more, might be a little bit slower, a little bit faster. And that's all part of the game, is trying to manage that and get the most out of those 8 stones that you're provided. They're not the players' own stones, they're all here at the ice rink, and they will play all the stones across the ice rink as the week goes on.
Nice broom. All right, go now. You
So
can
Steve
go.
had a bit of an errant one in the first end. He'll be looking to bounce back with a good one here. Well, just chips
Little
enough of that
less
red
stone, that was a
stone
good
to get it
rock.
out of the rings.
All right.
Good weight.
Yeah, weight was good.
All right.
9-5. Good thing you didn't get 9.
So here's Lauri Murasov. Works in IT. Began playing in 2015. Played other wheelchair sports, including tennis and basketball, before switching to curling. And this hero is the Estonian decathlete Erkki Null.
Oh, yeah, no, I like that.
Yeah.
13-5.
Yeah.
And also stated his influence, main influence in curling as another Erkki, and Erkki Lil, the Lil family in Estonia, very well known in the curling world.
Line's good.
So Steve Empt with the anti-clockwise rotation here.
Don't hide.
Come on.
Come on.
Right here.
Come on.
Weight's looking pretty
Come
good
on.
here as it crosses the center line and comes
Go.
down
Nice try.
into the house towards the tee line. Lovely draw there by Steve Empt. Larry Borisov there, now at the other end of the ice, holding the brush for his skip. Andre Koitmai has moved down the ice to the other end to throw the final 2 stones at the end. These two teams playing in a pretty traditional way in that the skip throws the last 2 stones. That's not the case for every team in the tournament. So Andre Koitmai just positioning that delivery stick on the end of the handle there. Those GTX heads that attach to the stone. All the teams have them. The Canadian developed technology that attaches to the stone and applies the rotation for them, depending on how they set it up. Was just curled a little too early and doesn't make it down into the house to make the freeze. Does block up the path in though for the United States, so they may have to go out really wide on the sheet here.
Yeah, I
mean, we're here for the button.
Yeah, probably.
There?
Yeah, a little more. Yeah,
They
I
might
leave it
want
out.
the
Make it go
That's
ahead.
fine. Yeah.
red back
You got it, boy.
$12.
13?
13.
No.
Now you see a lot of the teams just leaving their delivery sticks at the side of the ice, as you can with the game next door, the Canada game.
13.
The Americans preferring to have those holders attached to their wheelchairs just to keep them close by. Easily accessed, as
Bless you.
Matt Toombs just demonstrated.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
13.
13. You got it, buddy.
The players do have different setups to suit themselves. See Matt Toombs with a bit of a kind of a seat belt around his knees just to kind of help keep him in his chair, give him a little bit of extra purchase. Also holds on to a handle on the left-hand side of his chair.
Come on.
Just sneaks by the guard. Great draw here from Matt Toombs.
Got it.
And USA line 2 here. That was really well judged by Matt Toombs and very worthy of a high five and a bit of a celebration. Just sneaked past the guard and no more. So Estonia in a bit of a pickle here. Line 2 against. They don't have the last stone either. So Koitmai needs a good one here. Otherwise, it could well be facing a score of 3 for the United States. Not too much space to squeeze one in there.
või tule natuke kiiremaga, siis põrkab võib-olla sealt vastu punast kergelt, seda kui otse läbi ei tule. Umbes sama suunaga. 13.
So just trying to steer one between the 2 guards in the center line. Maybe they can get one down there into the 4-foot circle, but this will need to be pinpoint. Looks like a pretty good line. It hasn't got the speed though. Needs to get past that red guard. Needs to get past the red guard. It does, but it's just not got the legs. Doesn't make it down there into the 4-foot circle as they'd hoped, that red 4-foot circle.
14-2.
And it's going to be a free chance here for the United States to put another point on the board, already guaranteed 2 effectively. They're not going to remove either of those Yellowstones. So they're just going to throw another one down here, and all they need to do is touch those painted circles, the house at the other end of the ice. Final stone of the second end, Matt Toombs.
Dig. Whoa.
It's good.
That's good.
Good?
It's
They
good.
seem pretty happy with the weight. Everyone seems happy with the weight.
175.
Needs to touch the house here to put a 3rd point on the board. And Matt Toombs' confidence was well placed on that one. Just stops on the edge of that white 8-foot circle. And it's a score of 3 in the second end for the United States. Really well executed end. And just 2 ends played here of 8. But United States of America leading Estonia by 3 shots to 1. Steve Emp taking the head initially, while Matt Toombs maybe just taking a bit of a
deep breath. Right to me.
refreshment break. Here he is.
Great draw, Skip.
Thank you.
So here's Oyuna Aranchimek ready to get the 3rd end underway. Some excellent setup play in the previous end.
12-7. That's a beauty, yo.
Right down into the middle of play. Lovely shot here by Oyuna Aranchimek. Just about pins it.
Tundub, et jää on aeglasemaks läinud.
She's really looked at home out here on the ice. Oyuna Aranchimek here at the Paralympic Games.
Saad pihta?
You'd never know it's her debut.
10 pool.
10,5, jah.
So Katlin Riedeback throwing late stones for Estonia. Works as a technical team assistant for a major telecommunications company in Estonia. And served as a member of the Estonian Association of People with Reduced Mobility. Just began wheelchair curling in the last 3 years, starting in 2019.
Breathe.
So look, that one's turning. We switched rock, we didn't have a handle on it.
Oh, yeah.
Are you thinking the top, like on? The great drum?
Ready.
12-3.
Yep.
No, this one's going to cruise right through the house.
That's all right, the rock was in your head.
Yeah. It must have been
So one of the things that the teams can do is, in terms of changing the stone order, is that quite often it's the lead that bears the brunt of it, that the lead position will be given any stones that a player isn't happy with further up in the team, and they'll be left to deal with it. And I think that's what the team were suggesting there that I think they took on one of Dave Samsa's stones and passed it down to Oyuna, and she wasn't quite sure about how it was going to run. They obviously think it runs slower, and she threw it harder and maybe too much so and ran through the house. So maybe take her a couple of events to get used to that slightly different stone. So Dave Samsa with some new
Nice.
stones.
Very nice.
Nice stone delivery there.
Try and make a takeout here in the wing here, and the communication sounds positive. Hits and rolls out though.
I got it, so you don't have to touch it. I don't want you to have to clean the handle every day.
Yeah, get rid of the gin. Get rid of the gin. Get rid of the gin. What are we doing about it?
You have to clean it every time you touch it.
So Matas. Very good tennis player as well, was in the ITF Futures program.
14.
Nemad said 13-1.
aga tuleb ikka peale otsapidi, jah.
Again.
Just finds his way into the house there in that top left quadrant. Really was a terrific second end by the United States, picking up 3 to open up a 3-1 advantage.
It's a little steer, Dave, but I like it.
United States on day one did get off to a good start in one of their other games and weren't able to hold on to a lead. So I wonder if that will play in their mind here in this day 2 matchup.
Võib-olla 13,5, 13 ka kuskil.
So Matas. One daughter called Maris. Nice draw there. Down onto the wing once more.
I like it that way.
9?
Yes.
Estonia quite happy still to play in the house. Still a long way to go in this game. 8 ends of action. And taking a very patient approach so far, the Estonians, despite trailing by 2.
Come on, one more. A little more. Thank you, Mr. Steve.
An excellent shot here from Steve Empt. Hits and sticks around as well.
Umbes sama.
Been on the road for quite some time, the Americans. They left in the middle of February and spent a few days in LA before they traveled over to Beijing to acclimatize and get on Beijing time. It's quite a unique and different set of circumstances this time around at the Paralympic Games with the ongoing pandemic. Normally we would have seen a lot of the teams traveling to Asia earlier to maybe take up a holding camp and get used to the time zone a little bit sooner, but given the current restrictions, that wasn't possible. So doing things slightly different this time around. And we all hope that in 4 years' time for Milan Cortina 2026 that some normality will have resumed. And of course, let's not forget in 2026 the introduction of a new event in the curling sphere. Mixed doubles. Wheelchair curling mixed doubles. It's been a huge success in the Olympics. Introduced in Pyeongchang 2018 and was played again in Beijing. And will be coming to your screens in 4 years' time in Milano Cortina. So Lauri makes the takeout 6 rounds. Nice takeout play by both teams here.
Shirley is 9. Don't call me Shirley.
Okay, 9 Shirley.
This really must be a proud moment for the Estonians being out here at the Paralympic Games. The first Estonian athlete since 2002 at the Paralympic Winter Games. They will be loving every moment of this experience. Oh, hits and rolls right across the house and does stick around.
Got it.
Nice shot there by Matt Toombs.
Get him off that line. Give him somewhere new, huh? All right. Yeah. We all had that one figured out.
Ei, paned paika siis vana. Pane paika, ma annan siis kepi.
So just 3 stones to come here in the third end. Miroslav will just move in behind his skip just to secure the wheelchair and stop it from moving. Any sort of slide in the wheelchair can throw the stone offline. Miroslav does a good job of holding it firm.
Peaks minema küll. Jääb ise ka.
Hits and rolls out of the rings, but don't be too concerned about that. Main thing was to get that one out there from Koitmai. USA will just throw one into the house here. Of course, from a strategic perspective, when you've got the last stone advantage, you generally want to try and score multiple points. And if you can do that and you can force your opposition to only score 1 when they have the last stone, then you're going to win the game. That's the very basic strategy.
Might need a little.
So in terms of this end, Estonia aren't going to be able to score multiple points, so they will want to try and blank this end. And this may not even reach the house.
Short.
So that comes up short.
Way short.
And you would expect to see Estonia throw this one away and keep the last stone for the next end. Well, it doesn't even throw it far enough to get to the house. Just gets rid of it.
Good in, guys, good in.
Making the helpers work to go and collect that one. So a blank end. That means that the last stone advantage is carried over to the 4th end. And Estonia will go for 2 there. But after 3 ends here, it's United States of America 3, Estonia 1.
There ain't no points in there. It's fine, right?
Fine, yeah.
We're not going to give up anymore. Tino.
All right. Hang on.
Yeah, I know.
She's gonna let you know. There you go. Good.
Go ahead, O.
So Oyuna Ranchimeg
13.
not at her brilliant best so far in this game, but still a long way to go.
That's in.
Here, the fourth end, the
That's it.
final end before the
Maybe two.
halftime break.
Oh, wow. Must have picked twice.
Go for it.
12-3.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's slowing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's full back 8.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
13
Good
to
info.
T-line.
Let's start us off.
So they have identified that that is a slow stone, and they're using
kuskil
split times between the hog lines to make that judgment. They felt like that should have gone through the house. We've been seeing kind of times around 13.5 seconds between the hog lines for a draw to reach the tee. On about 12.3. And rears up at the back of the house when it really had no right to. So they may well be right. That still may well be slower than the other 7 in the set. Well, Estonia looking for corner guards here. By a corner guard, I mean a guard off to the side. Just a little too far and into the front of the house.
9.
All right. Look at it. Chitter chatter.
Got it, O.
Yeah, that's what you're pointing. All right, we're fine.
So because that one drifted into the house,
9-1.
you know, Ranchimeg could go for the takeout, but that slips on by. That's a mistake there from the Americans.
Yes, please. Yeah. Yeah, just
So an early opportunity here in the fourth end for Estonia. Cadlin, Breedeback. Of course, every team has to have one male and one female. It is a mixed event. Many of the teams only with one female player in the team. It's quite often preferable if you have 2 of each gender in the team, just in case somebody gets ill or injured. They absolutely need to make sure that they have a female on the ice, or a male and a female, I should say.
Matt, how about the other way? Maybe double?
You can
All right.
roll this way.
Okay. All right, we got this.
9.
9.
9 to the room. Deep breath.
So Dave Samsa not thrown any draws yet so far here on day 2. This could be another takeout here. Looks like he's got a good line here, but just hits on the wrong side and rolls out and leaves that red Estonian stone in the house, lying in shot position. You'd like to hit it on the other side and kind of roll back towards the center somewhere.
13.
So Mike Matas having a good game. 96% for his draws so far. That's terrific shooting by the Estonian second player.
Ei ole hullu, jää on myös natuke aeglasem. Ma arvan, tuleb ilusti. 12-7. Peaks jääma peale. Vist.
Well, this one needs to stop. This one needs to slow down to lie to. And it does just in time. Really using the full length of the house there, Matas. But good enough to lie to. And Estonia would love to tie the game up before halftime.
Right at the broom.
Been a pretty even match so far. If it was a boxing match so far, you would say Estonia won the first end, USA won the second end, and the third end was probably tied.
Very nice.
That's a nice throw right there, Dave. Might be the best throw all day.
There you go. Right on the head.
Great on.
Hits that one right on the nose. That's good stuff from Samsa. So this will be the first takeout of the match for Matas. Only played draws this far. It certainly has enough speed behind it. And he's got the accuracy as well. Having a great game so far. Terrific stuff from Mike Matas. So USA, Steve Empt to play here. Will continue to throw the takeouts, and they're just trying to maybe roll this Yellowstone towards the other red. They won't be looking for a double takeout necessarily, but if they can roll it kind of over there to that side of the sheet, maybe in front of it, that would be a good result. He's just hit that one on the wrong side. Does enough to get rid of it though. So Estonia need to decide where they want to place this one. There's no doubt they'll throw it into the house, but the question is where. Could well throw it to the other side. It looks like that's quite likely what they would do.
Ja Lauri, tule eest, tule siiapoole.
12-8.
Palju? Läks tulema küll.
12-8.
Peaks jääma küll.
Really well done. Call that splitting the house. The house being the painted circles, and by splitting it means that they've got one on either side. Makes it really difficult for their opposition to play a double takeout, and it's one of the oldest tactics in the book for the team with the last stone to employ. It really is a good way of generating a multiple score.
That'd be nice, right? Yep.
9-1.
Get over there. Get over there.
Well, he gets one, rolls right across the house. Will he get in front of the other one or even poke it out the side door? Not quite,
nice.
but a super shot there by Steve Empt.
Woohoo! The perfect roll.
That is a beautiful roll right there.
Well, they're absolutely delighted with that one. Steve Empt. Just a little more speed, and they may well have knocked it out, but still they'll be delighted with that one. Could well be a chance to make a double with the skip stones. Still no guarantee here that Mursov will hit and stick around. Well, he has been good with the takeouts this far.
Skima sinna ka. Peaks kukkuma küll. Kukub.
9-2.
Lööb ära selle vist ka.
Well, just over curls a fraction, and it does touch that stationary stone in the house, but you can see quite clearly it's still just biting the edge of the house, so that isn't a scoring position.
Suuna peal oli, aga.
The yellow stone outside the house is not. It's not that one just there. It's not in a scoring position. It needs to be touching the house to be scoring.
Will you come down to it?
No, just take it off.
Well, the problem the United States have is that in flicking that redstone, it's actually moved it over behind that yellow guard, so it just makes it a little more difficult to remove it.
Nice shot.
Matum's previously the third player for this United States team, moving up for the 2019
maybe a little more.
Yeah.
Yep, thank
World
you.
Championship.
You got it.
And this American team really found a change in their fortunes when Matum started to take on those last stones.
go. Be good. It's coming. It's coming. Coming.
Needs to bend to get around the guard here and hit it. Oh, just drifts right on by. That was so close. It looked like it went through the side of it. Unbelievable. Maybe too much weight there for Matt Toombs. Didn't get enough curl. Threw it too hard. It ran bullet straight. And now this really looks like a great opportunity here for Estonia to put multiple points on the board. Going to use that splitting the house tactic again, throwing to the other side. May want to just drift a little bit further into the house this time. But that's no gimme. Andre Koitmai really struggling with his draw play so far today. He's thrown 4 and he's not made any. So if there ever was a time for Koitmai to find his draw weight, this is it. Just needs to touch the house to lie to. Looks like it's certainly got enough weight. Oh, looks like it's got too much weight. Needs to slow down. It's going to drift right on through. Koitmai just having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. His confidence is clearly gone on the draw shots. Really needs to find that to give the Estonians a chance. You just can't have your skip missing shots like that at this level. So Matt Toombs got a chance to make amends after that miss. Needs to come around it. Oh, actually hits the guard. Not even close to getting around to make the takeout there, but does roll into shot position. And you know, Koitmai may actually be quite happy about that. I'm not sure he'd want to throw another draw the way things are going. This will force him to play a takeout, which he has been more successful than he has with the draws so far today.
Alexa.
Yeah.
So just needs to remove that Yellowstone and stick around here. Final stone of the 4th end. Andre Koitmai going for the takeout to try and score 2 and tie things up going into the halftime break. Oh, lovely shot here by Koitmai. Makes the hit and stick and puts 2 on the board for Estonia. Just what the doctor ordered. And going into the halftime break, 4 ends played of 8 here. It's a tied game. Estonia 3, United States of America 3.
Oh, that one just hung. I don't know how they kept that in there after that.
Are we shooting good?
How the heck did...
Three sheets in action here on day 2. Featured game on the far side over there. China not in action today, but still good to see a nice crowd in to support the games, to watch some high quality wheelchair curling action here on day 2.
Very good.
So nothing between them, despite those stats from Andre Koitmai having an absolute nightmare, but the rest of the team playing extremely well. Excellent numbers from them. Particularly Mike Matas. Just can't miss at the moment, 97%. Unbelievable stuff.
Chris Lowry. You think Chris Lowry?
No.
No?
Anything behind the tee line, I think we were the one that in 3 tried to hit the rock in the back corner. It was back in here. You hit it. You could have drawn too, but I'm perfectly happy with the removing it also. But early.
A bit of tactical analysis going on in the Estonian camp. More consistent stats across the board in this United States of America team. Nothing between them on the scoreboard, though.
To get that stone to come back across. I mean, geez, the first time, that was what, about a 9? Did you
9.06 on his first.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it looked like
both 9s.
Yeah.
Second one yeah.
I steered the second one.
Second one just got it.
I steered it in. Yeah, and I asked for that much more broom.
Yeah.
The first one, yeah. I left the broom in the right place. The first one wasn't.
Yeah.
Don't listen to me. So
yeah. So all in all, I think you're doing good.
Yeah.
This is a different team than we're playing yesterday.
So Estonia quite clearly with better stats overall, but if your skip isn't making the shots, then it doesn't convert to points on the board. With that kind of difference in the stats, nearly 15%. That's about 1 in every 8 shots additional getting made. But if your skip isn't making that last one at the end, then that really does become a problem.
Everybody's on the broom.
So the Estonians will need to rally around Andre Koitmai to try and bring him up to the level that they need from their skip. The talisman as well for Estonia. I'm sure that was a big confidence boost, though, making that final stone of the 4th end to tie things up. So in 20 seconds time, we'll get the second half underway. The helpers just arranging the stones so we get an orderly and efficient end played. Estonia will get this end underway by virtue of scoring in the 4th end. If you score in the previous end, then you start the next end. And the team who didn't, they have the last stone.
14 kuskil siis, jah?
14. 14 pool.
Ei, 14 pigem.
14.
Caitlin Riedeback having a good game, 75% for the 39-year-old.
Pigem tundub 15.
So 5th end underway. Just 8 ends in wheelchair curling for round-robin games in comparison to 10 ends in the Olympic format. I think we'll see 8 end games reaching the Olympics at some point as well.
13? Yeah, I'm taking 13.
A little bit quicker, remember, so.
Yeah, try 13.5.
13.5.
Yuna Ranchmek not quite playing as well as she has been in the tournament this far. Certainly had better form in day 1 than she is here in day 2. And this game really hanging nicely in the balance at the moment. Just feel whichever team can just tighten up on a few shots here and there will start to move ahead. Both teams will feel that this game is there for the taking. That's an important one as well. Both these teams looking for their first win here in the Ice Cube.
13.
joined us and you're wondering what you're watching the wheelchair curling event, Beijing 2022. Winter Paralympic Games. Day 2, Estonia against the USA. And the format of curling is that both teams play 8 stones each. They play them alternately with each other. Estonia playing the red stones here and USA throwing the yellows. There's 4 players in each team throwing 2 stones each in order. And once all 16 stones have been played, they'll work out who's closest to the middle and how many are closer than the opposition's nearest one. And that will determine the score for the end. There are no points for hitting certain circles within the target, like in archery. Literally 1 point for 1 stone. And in that previous end, Estonia with 2 points in the house after all 16 stones have been thrown to tie things up. 8 ends to play. 11 teams playing in the round robin. Will all play each other, and then it's all about wins and losses to determine who will qualify for the semi-final and go for the medals. Right, Matas, the most valuable player this far, that's for sure. 97%, incredible stuff. That is out of this world in any format of curling, but particularly in wheelchair curling, incredible stuff. He's played a pretty good shot here as well if he hangs around on the wing. Just pushes that yellow out into the open. Good shot there by the Estonian second.
Tapping his back,
yeah. 1-2. Just said that, I like that.
Yeah.
About 5, 12. Huh?
13?
13.
There's a lot, no, Matt?
What's that, a lot? Same line that O would have been on.
Yeah, that was 11-8 though.
And there's button right there. I think I like that.
You got it. Mine's great.
So you see a lot of the players really driving through low with the hand. Dave Samsa finishes quite high hand.
Easy.
12-2. Chip
12.
in. Chip in. That's nice, Dave.
Splits that yellow over nicely towards the button. Lovely shot there by Dave Samsa.
Great shot, Dave. Go, US!
Teeme selle ära. Võib-olla põrkab siia.
I'm sure they would have loved to have family and friends over cheering them on in the National Aquatic Centre, but not to be. But the supporting staff and teammates, maybe some other sports spectating athletes, certainly trying to make them feel at home out there on the ice and feel supported and good about themselves. Doesn't seem to like that one. Matas. Oh, does he? Why not? He's hit it right on the nose. Perhaps his expectations are through the roof now after that first half.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Half of it?
Yeah. So they got 3 reds in here, that's why I'm...
Yeah, I think in roll.
I think we hit this.
Please have
you get a roll, that's good. Hit the here is good.
Even just, yeah, little roll, little inside roll will be perfect.
Yeah.
So the United States here just getting a little bit nervous about some of this clutter building up around the edges of the house. Certainly don't want to find themselves in a position later in the end where they're playing against 3 or 4.
Come on, a little bit. Yeah, right there, right there, right there.
You go.
Nice there, that's perfect, Dave. That's perfect, Dave.
Really good shot. Just checks inside as well to lie to. Couple of good ones from Dave Samsa.
1-2.
9 jah.
9.
Läheb küll.
Siia kuskile.
Võiks rolli tulla ka, jah.
Ära lööb.
It's rolled right across the house. So Estonia still with some red stones building up around the house. Line 3. About the halfway point in the end here. That one springs right across. Nearly catches the backside of that yellow stone.
Yeah, I like guard.
Still kind of the same situation here for the USA, where they're just a little bit wary of these red stones building up around the outside of the house in scoring position.
13-5 is good. Yep. I think right here.
Choosing to ignore them this time, though. Try and get a multiple score.
12-7.
Trying to come down onto their own stone here. Just drifts on past it. It's actually quite a nice shot there from Steve Empt. Might have just preferred it in front of their own yellow stone, but they'll take that. Line 2. Making Estonia do the work here.
Kiirusega tulema.
Ma arvan kuskil 10. Läks keerama 10,5.
Kino sinna otsa ka. Läheb.
10-6.
Well, just chips that one and doesn't remove it from play. That could really turn things in United States' favor here. A good end building for the United States. Chance to get in there in line 3.
13. Another 12-7 back here.
13-4.
13-3 up here.
You got it.
Okay.
So anti-clockwise draw here. Deep breath here. Steve Empt sending this draw on its way. Looking just to take a little bit of speed off this one in comparison to the first. Ideally wanting to lie 3. Looks short speed at the moment. Is curling early. Is it past the guards? Well, passes the first one, but gets caught on that one at the top of the house. So a bit of a let off there for Estonia.
See, mis on hea selle, ta mõtlebki seda, jah, täpselt seesama.
Natuke rohkem.
Ma arvan, et see on niisugune 12.
Natuke rohkem.
Või 11.
Või tahab asetust teha sinna. Kaitsete taha.
Now Estonia choosing to come down the other side of the sheet. Trying to make the draw. It's not been Andre Koitmai's friend this far. Yet to make one on 5 attempts so far. He's got a little bit of backing to use though as his friend. Can draw up against either of those yellow stones and just give him a little bit more tolerance on the shot. Certainly won't want to be short here. Only playing 21% this far.
Yeah.
So ready to get it on its way. Skip stones here in the fifth end. Really is a fascinating end here. Lots of stones in play. Certainly got plenty of speed on it, this one. Again, Koitmai just struggling with the speed of the ice. Perhaps slightly faster playing conditions than he's used to. Just can't get to grips with it at all.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, be buried in obviously would be nice, but
yeah.
So Matt Toombs is going to play a similar draw here, coming down the same side of the sheet that
up right there, top
we're just seeing Andre Koitmai come down.
Yeah, even if I, yep, I like it.
All right, 13.5 is good.
Draw like
bring them
top
home.
8? Huh? Top 8-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, even top 12. They're gonna go off
Round full top 8 there on that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
13.5.
Yes, sir.
So Matt Toombs will have to raise his tournament accuracy if United States want to have a chance of making the playoffs. They are considered to be one of those teams in the mix, but not really hit their peak performance thus far.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Just for reference, we've seen Gregor Ewan, the Great Britain fourth player, throwing 80%, so 45% is really quite low, and that one drifts a little bit too far. Still lying 3 though, the United States after that one, but quite a nice wall of yellow stones for Koitmai to draw against. If there ever was a draw that Koitmai was going to be able to make it, surely it's this one. Just needs a slight adjustment. He can come down onto that yellow stone, just throwing and bump it a little bit. Line shot position, it would be near impossible for the United States to remove the Estonian red stone if they were able to do that.
Enne läks laiaks.
Mida?
Enne läks laiaks esimene.
Jah.
So here we go, Andre Koitmai, lots of rotation on this stone. Certainly looks like it's got the speed. How's the line though? It'll start to turn down, start to bank down. Oh, can you believe it? He's wide again. And the United States still lying 3 here. Andre Koitmai's nightmare continues here. He just cannot buy a draw here today. He's looking at the overhead, trying to judge what's happened at the other end of the ice here, but he wouldn't like what he sees. Matt Toombs just needs to find a little piece of that white 8-foot circle to score 4.
You like it?
Yeah. Hit a red. Hit a red.
So it's on its way here in the 5th end. Final stone.
That's a good stone, Matt.
And just going to use the backing here.
Very nice.
Really nicely done. It's a score of 4. That's going to blow this game wide open. Andre Koitmai just not able to make some of these key shots, and Matt Toombs doing a great job of punishing him. It's a huge score of 4 in the 5th end for the United States of America, and they lead Estonia by 7 shots to 3.
Kolmendi veel raisk. Ei tule, no kohe tuleb.
USA.
Go. On the clock.
Yep, all right. 30 seconds.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Well, two huge ends from the United States. Really good hammer efficiency. We talk about hammer efficiency as those times when you have the last stone and you score multiple points.
13.
USA have had that last stone advantage twice, and they put a score of 3 and a score of 4 on the board. Can't ask for much more than that.
Nice delivery. Nice straight line up. Good job.
That's despite the overall team percentages actually being in Estonia's favour, but just shows the importance of those skip stones. If your skip isn't delivering, then it really is almost impossible to win a game of curling.
It's happened. It's happened.
Andre Koitmai dropping to 17% in this game.
Tule siia järgi ka.
13 pool.
13
So
pool, jah.
Aranchimeg drifts to the back of the house.
Järgi.
You'd expect to see Estonia throw a guard here. Just 3 ends to play, trailing by 4. They're going to need to start taking some risk here.
Kes on küll tubli. Tubli.
Katlin Riedebach sends Estonia's first stone on its way here in the 6th end.
Kaitse on jah vist jama.
Does get a guard in play.
Keera äärele. Oo hea lasta.
Got it.
So Aranchimeg will be looking to try and get some confidence back after some wayward draws. We think she's probably dealing with a bit of a rogue stone, we call it. Rogue, as in it's slightly different from the rest. Maybe running a little bit slower, and that could just be hampering Aranchimeg's ability to make some of these draws. Just stops on the back line to bite the house.
Huh?
Job, Will.
Hey, warmed up a little bit.
So Katlin Riedebach, the female member of this Estonian team. Only one female skip in the field. The Latvian skip.
Kiire.
12-3.
Polina Roskova.
Kitsama suuna võtta ja...
Riedebach just removes that Yellowstone in the back of the house, pushes it over the back line and sticks around herself.
9.
Well, now with a 4-shot lead, we're going to see the United States of America play really defensively. We're going to see a lot of takeouts here. Just trying to run Estonia out of stones in this game.
Stay out.
Feel it.
Stay out.
Feel it.
Stay out.
There you go, Dave. 8-9.
That being said, we saw on day 1 the United States of America giving up a commanding lead. We'll need to see what they've learned from that experience.
13 kuskil, 14, 13.
Americans looking pretty content. We've got to think this may be a long week for the Estonians if Koitmai can't start making some draws.
Ei, läheb ilusti, läheb.
No, there is a night practice where after all the games have finished, the teams will go out. They'll generally just try and get a feel for the sheet of ice they're playing on the next day and maybe take a look at the stones and try and identify any rogue stones like we've seen in this game. For the Americans, I just wonder if Andre Koitmai might consider going out there and throwing a few stones in the evening just to try and get some confidence up.
Rip it.
Try and find his draw weight. It's not entirely typical procedure, but that is an option that is available to him.
Looks like I was getting another rock.
Yeah.
Baseball knuckleballs.
So Dave Samsa, I don't think he can blame every stone in the sheet. I think that's a technical issue that's stopping him getting the rotation on the stone. I don't think it was unusual that he was claiming that it was a bad stone about a second after he let it go earlier in the game. Usually you would see the stone running the full length of the ice before making a determination about whether it runs differently to the rest. Mike Matas playing the best in the sheet. It's a really good matchup at second actually between Dave Samsa and Mike. So no guards in play. Dave Samsa opening things right up. And this is another great draw here from Matas. Throws it right in front of that pocket, that nest between the yellow and red stone behind it. And that's not going to be an easy one to remove for the United States. They may just need to be a little careful here.
5 3/8.
Rather than just hit it, let's just hit it with a 9. We know that.
You got it.
So they're looking to try and drive this red across the face of the other red, and maybe, just maybe, Steve Empt with a good one here can spell them both, but it is fraught with danger. If he hits this on the wrong side, then could be a chance for Estonia to lie 3.
Come on over.
They're asking for it to curl. Coming down now. Gets one. Oh, chips it onto the wide one. There it is. Said it was fraught with danger, and that's exactly why.
All right, we're good. I'll just crash the next one.
Yeah.
Now Estonia, from nowhere, have a chance to maybe put a multiple score of their own on the board. Just hit it a fraction too thin. That was so close to being a great shot there by Steve Empt. He'll have another chance in a moment just to try and mop things up.
Tundub kiirust olevat.
Jah.
Lühikeseks ta ei jää.
Lauri. 13-6.
So that one comes down and goes far enough
Ja on aeglasemaks läinud.
to lie 3. That's a really well placed stone there by Estonia, and may well tempt the United States into throwing a draw here.
Hit it, get a little flip would be good.
It's a great shot if they make it.
We drop.
But if they miss it, then maybe Estonia will have a chance to lie 4.
Okay. Make sure we're on the same page. 9 or 10.
Should we call a timeout? I like to draw down to here. Put the draw down to here and cancel them both out. You hit this and it rolls out, they can hit their 3 yet.
I think draw down would be good. Then
right, the draw.
Yeah.
That won't go
So
anywhere.
this is one of these moments in the game where you kind of feel like you should be throwing a takeout because you've got a 4-shot lead, but you know that if you make this draw and freeze into that pocket at the back, it cancels out those 3 stones, and it could well be effectively a game-winning shot. And that's what they're going for here. United States taking the aggressive option here. Just setting himself and sending it on its way here. Steve Empt. Just got a nice little bit of room for error here. He can come down and bump these red stones at the back. Looks like a good line here. Needs to curl. Needs to curl.
Wait.
12-5.
Well, potentially, it isn't shot position, but potentially moves that red far enough But the yellow on the other side is now out counting it.
We have to watch our.
But a chance here to lie a few once more for Estonia. Certainly enough happening to keep them interested this far.
kui sa täpselt saad. Kuidas sa tahad?
Ma pigem tulen niisugune 11.
Tuled rahulikumaga, jah?
Võta niisugune valge sinine.
See oli praegu 13-2 aeg.
Good game.
Selline suund.
Jah.
Tuli sisse.
Sisse läks, jah.
So much lower delivery from Murasov. You can hear the delivery stick landing on the ice as he drives through it. This one curling early. Well, he was looking for a takeout there and actually plays the straight tap onto the edge of the button. And that could well be the mistake that lets the United States off the hook for a few here. Because Estonia are not able to remove that yellow stone at the back of the house. Looks well protected.
Take it out.
Even if you're anywhere here, you know, basically with a draw, when you got from here to here, you put it up there, and that's fine. You freeze on it would be ideal.
Yeah.
What do you do if you freeze on it? Give them one here.
Call it?
Yeah, call timeout, yeah. You got it.
Freeze on it and draw into it.
So the timeout is going to be called here for the United States while they discuss this one. Rusty Scheibert will make his way down to the field of play.
Just run.
No, like you said, so we're going for giving them one. I mean, if it happens.
Listen, no,
Drop
listen,
down
even
to
if you
You also have this over here.
we're 2 and...
We're 1 and 2.
We're just 1.
Or we're sitting second count.
You take it out, you could be 1 and 2.
You take that out, we're going to be 1 and 3.
Yeah, how am I going to hit it?
You'd have to be chipping it that way.
You'd have to chip it,
Yeah, no.
I don't want to chip it.
Yeah, chip it that way.
Freeze down to it, I think.
I like to, I mean, if we come right here, anywhere from here to here.
Okay, all right, what are you guys thinking?
I'm going to freeze down to it, bump it back a little, come up a little short on it.
Yeah, bottom line, the yellow one is...
Catch it.
That's your saving grace,
Yeah.
okay? So what you got to do is, if you can anywhere get in for seconds, okay, what we got to do is keep all these stones from going up on the board. Okay?
Yeah.
So anywhere to get in for seconds, you don't have to pull it up. So what do you want to do? I mean, do you want to draw down to it?
I like to draw down to it.
Okay.
If I bump it back a little bit, if I come up a little short. That was, I didn't, what was that?
Well, that was a tap back.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
It's 13.
You bet.
13, yeah.
And anything,
That's
yeah.
a 13.
Yeah. You guys are looking good. Get anything in the 8 foot to get 2 yellows. It's all you're after.
Okay.
Okay, so make it real easy. Anything in the 8 foot to make it 2 yellow, and then you're in great shape. All right?
Good.
All right.
All right? Yeah.
You got to skip 13.
Yeah. You can freeze down to it and move it back and be shot. That's even more beautiful.
Yep. We got you.
Good time out there.
Coach Rusty
Always
Scheibert
interested listening to the coaches and their approach, and Rusty Scheibert clearly very supportive. The USA will feel good about that. They clearly had the right tactical concept, the right idea.
13er?
They're going to try and make a drawdown onto that red stone, make a freeze, as we call it, when you rest your stone against the oppositions. They're not that concerned about scoring 1 here. They don't mind giving up 1, but they certainly don't want to give away a bundle. And that yellow at the back of the house does look a little bit lonely back there.
Easy. Okay, we're going up.
So the line looking pretty good here.
Come on. 13-6. More.
13.5 should be
Great
pretty
shot,
close
Skip.
to the tee line.
That's a beauty, man.
Great shot. Great shot by Matt Toombs.
Great shot.
Maybe not out of the woods yet, though. The angles are pretty nice here for Estonia if they were ever able to smashed that yellow stone just thrown by Matt Toombs on the right-hand side as we look at it. He may well be able to drive his own red back onto the other yellow stone and lie as many as 3 or 4.
Guess who's back?
That being said, we've not seen much to be excited about from Koitmai. Struggled with some of the most basic shots, and that is a very technical shot.
Take out.
That many out at all. That if you nose it, then the red goes back to that yellow.
Yes.
And if you nose it, well, if it squirts out, fine. Okay, if it squirts out, fine. If you can remove it somehow. But even if you nose it, that'd be okay. But I don't know if you can throw it hard enough to move that. If you can, great. The red will go back into the yellows. And if we can squirt the yellow one this way or that way, all good. But you've just got to throw a 9 or 875.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, so I don't know what they do next. Afterwards, if you squirt it that way, they just try to play a takeout. I'm just going to have the exchange of rocks, but you're okay.
So here we go. This is a really important shot, and Estonia trailing by 4. They do have a chance to generate something here. It was a good shot by Matt Toombs, but with a great takeout here, Estonia perhaps the chance still to get a multiple score back on the board. Quite a bit of red granite lying around the house.
Pane paika, ma annan sulle.
So just trying to chip that yellow stone just played by Matt Toombs. Even if he hit it on the nose, then at least he would drive his own red stone back onto the other yellow and bring some of those other ones into play. Certainly been more accurate with the takeouts than the draws. The draws Koitmai. Looking for about a 9-second takeout, maybe a little bit faster. So expect to see this traveling down the ice with some speed. Really gave that one some welly. So pretty good line. Shouldn't be too far away here. There we go, gets that other one and spins it back up. So that yellow again looking precarious in the middle of the house for the United States. Estonia lying in 2nd and 3rd shot position. If there's any doubt that USA are going to play a takeout on that red stone just next to Steve Emp's brush.
Jää nurka jah, et siis oleks veel kollast ka minema löönud. Praegu läks otse vähe, aga ei ole midagi.
Even if you tap this a little bit this way, and over here.
We're one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You draw it down, is it one?
You don't want to be heavy. You want to pro-side it
Come to the
short.
inside of it a little bit.
Yeah. How much less you giving me?
Well, I was here.
Yeah.
He misses,
And here.
The thing is, he misses the
Yeah.
guard.
The 13.5?
13.5.
Yeah.
Okay. You got it.
It said 1-2. At actually, so we're going to draw. Draw for 1-2. Draw away. Draw for 1-2.
So just going to throw a draw here.
Thank you.
Thought he was going to throw a takeout. Seems like the obvious shot to me, but Matt Toombs thinks otherwise. Seems like safer. Don't want to risk chipping their own Yellowstone out, that's for sure. I think the United States will be quite relieved when this ends over. It's been a little bit stressful these last few stones. Looking a little bit tight for line at the moment. They would like to come down onto that red stone.
13-7.
Certainly needs to get past this red. Well, but actually just squares it up to guard that yellow somewhat. Pretty good result. And what does that leave Estonia, I wonder? Not much is the answer. Maybe they can make a straight raise double takeout for 2 on the 2 yellows closest to the centre line. That would probably enable them to score 2. Murasov lining up a chip takeout, trying to chip the red onto the yellow to score 2. Tough shot, very tough shot in that angle. You have to hit it so thin. Probably not too difficult to get the Yellowstone out of there if he hits it in the right spot, but very difficult to stick it around.
On 10 või?
9.
Okay.
Well, this is a really important shot here for Estonia. They certainly can't afford to give up any more points to the United States here in the 6th end. He's making his final adjustments. And the final stone of the 6th end is on its way. It's an extremely difficult takeout. Lots of rotation on this one from Koimai. Trying to chip it across. Gets it out of there, but spills both of those reds. It is going to be a score of 1 for Estonia here in the 6th end. And Steve Empt clearly pleased with that. USA are going to get the last stone advantage back, and it's only cost them 1 point. Just 2 ends to come here, and United States of America with the last stone and the 3-shot lead.
It's not over yet.
All right.
So just 2 ends to play here of the regulation 8, and Estonia with all the work to do. That huge score of 4 in the 5th end for the United States, really blowing this game open. And the real key here is the United States of America do have the last stone here in the 7th end by virtue of that score in the 6th by the United States of America. And Caitlin Riedebach gets us underway here in the 7th end. I don't think the United States of America will want to see quite as many stones in play as they did in the previous end. There's definitely some scary moments along the way. I think slightly better stone positioning by Estonia, then they may have put a few more points on the board than they did. But United States of America got away with it and are very much in the driving seat here.
Nice, Bo. 989. Good.
Got it. All right, now, you get the next one.
Kuskile siia oleks see hea kaitse. Umbes. Ta on nagu keskkaitse, samas ta pole ka. 14 pool, jah.
Riedebach will be looking for a guard. Certainly can't afford to keep throwing stones into the house. That's going to make things too easy for the United States of America. They need to get some guards out in front.
Ei, ma arvan, see on okei praegu.
Try and create some clutter to force the United States to play some difficult shots and create some misses. Generally, when you're trying to steal points, you've not got the last stone, you throw all the play into the center of the sheet, which they're doing here. They want a guard, but this one's just drifting down into the house. Estonia line 2, but not really what they're looking for. Not able to use the free guard zone. And it's going to be a takeout called here for Ranchimeg.
There you go.
Very nice. Come on, man.
The Americans pleased with that throw from Ranchimeg.
9-2.
Little flip.
There you go, makes
Nice
the takeout,
weave,
rolls over in front of that redstone. Great shot there by Ranchimeg.
I'm stuck in the foam. I'm stuck in the foam.
The real difficulty here for Estonia is just the lack of guards in play. They've not been able to use the free guard zone. It's going to be very difficult to steal points without any guards.
Teine variant, võime tulla ka siitpoolt siia kuskile niimoodi.
Tuleme proovime.
Siia.
Jah.
Näiteks kuskile või kui tuleb siia. Proovi siitpoolt, jah?
Proovi siitpoolt, jah.
Throw a guard. You're going to try and freeze the side of this Yellowstone. This is a really difficult shot. But, you know, Matas has had such a good game. If anybody in this sheet of ice is going to make this shot, it's him.
Aeglane vist.
Aeglane, jah.
Well, perhaps a little short of pace here. Curls off into a corner guard. It just feels like the wind's gone out of the Estonian sails a little bit here in the second half.
Over here would be great, but
it really was a killer blow in the fifth end.
Somehow. I don't know.
That score 4 for the United States of America.
By flash, we're going to get our double there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like the outside, nice.
No heroics required for the United States. You'd think that they'll play a takeout here. Dave Samsa has been good with the takeout, even with some technical issues. Not getting the rotation on it. See if he does better with this one. Looking to see the stone spinning down the ice on an anti-clockwise rotation. That looks much better, much smoother from Samsa.
Something funky here. Stay there. Away. 9-0.
Well, removes it, but does leave a guard in play.
More broom, Dave.
So maybe that's something that Estonia can use to their advantage.
Ja. On ju. Aga kui ta jääb siia, on nagu väga hea. Ütleme, isegi kui ta siia jääb. Aga sul läks ennem sisse, Mait, on ju.
So needing a little bit of an adjustment from the previous one here. Matas. It's not much of an adjustment. It's gone a little bit further. Slides off the guard and into the house. At least kind of protects that red stone in the edge of the 4-foot. They would like all this play to be running up the center line rather than up the 18-inch line.
Draw right here.
Yeah, that's what I like.
Right
so
here.
Doug, we don't need to be shot. We just leave this open for you. You know, we don't need to be shot.
Right here, Dave.
Yeah. Throw it over there and make him hit it.
13?
Yeah, or two, if we draw here, we might as well draw here. No, I like this.
Oh, the 3-shot lead, you would expect to see them playing a takeout here, but they seem quite happy with the current situation, and they're going to throw a draw into the house.
13.
Good, Dave.
There's something here as well about playing your team to its strength, and Dave Samsa has shown himself to be an excellent takeout player. He's thrown a lot of them today, and now he's being asked to throw a drop.
What's your second rock?
I don't know.
He's not getting down and through the stone with his technique. It's a very high release. See his hand and his wrist coming right up into the air, and he's just not getting the rotation on.
Okay.
Let's go. Right, Dave.
So a strange call and a strange shot.
Funky.
Grab a chopstick.
So Estonia just remaining interested here. They'll try and throw a draw right around everything here, and maybe even freeze their own redstone, or even just alongside the yellow is good fear for Murasov. So it's quite a marked difference between Murasov and Samsa. Murasov gets down and through the stone, whereas Dave Samsa with a much higher release. Really makes a difference in terms of the amount of rotation. Gets the guard on, and they're easing the play towards the center line quite nicely at the moment, Estonia.
I like this.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 13?
Yeah. You got it.
Well, this stops the guard is not a good result for the USA. Again, the play just moving towards the center line. I'm sure that this will come up in the post-game debrief. Some strange tactical calls here from the United States of America. Did have some problems defending the lead yesterday, and it's not just about the shot execution, it's also about the calls that are being made. Definitely some stuff that needs cleaned up here. Murasov trying to get one down into the house. Just hasn't quite got his way. The team is really struggling with the speed of the ice here on day 2. I don't think they've got much option, but it's going to continue with the draw game. The United States kind of made their bed now. Far more stones in play than he would like sitting on the coaching bench. But a good draw here from Steve Empt. And the United States will very much have the upper hand here in this end.
All right here. Come on.
Yeah, now work. Easy.
Needs to stay in front of the tee line here. It's not. It's definitely got some speed, and look at that, charging right through the house. And lots of guards around the center line as well for Estonia to draw behind. This game not over yet here. United States of America keeping Estonia in it. Just can't finish them off. Koitmai has really struggled with his draws so far in this game. If we could ever find a couple of good ones here, though, maybe Estonia still with a chance in this game. So looking just to bring one down into the top of that red 4-foot circle. Koitmai needing to find something from somewhere. It's been a difficult game for him. last stone draw before the game was a maximum 199.6 centimeters. I wonder if it's just a bad pre-game practice for him, and that's really affected his play throughout. But this one looking closer. Look at this one. Slow down now. Oh, there it is. That's the one we've been waiting for. Well done, Andre Koitmai. Putting those previous mistakes behind him and delivering a beautiful stone down onto the edge of the button. And this isn't what the Americans would have wanted. They're in some trouble here. Definitely worth a smile. That's what we've been waiting for, Andre. Well done.
Aga veel on 3 viset ees. 3 head viset tuleb teha veel.
You've got to go back to the
13-5, you guys good.
Was it the second stones? Maybe the fourth stone in the end from the United States. They had the chance to play a takeout. They opted to play a draw. Didn't make it, and look at the mess they're in now. Estonia with 2 in behind the centre guards. Centre play blocked up. Matt Toombs needing to pull one out the fire here. Needs to get down there though. Needs to get down there. This one looks like it's coming up a little bit shy. Just sneaks into the front of the 8 foot. So things just got a little bit interesting here in this day 2 matchup between Estonia and the USA. Now how bold does Koitmai want to be here? Does he want to come right round onto the button? Does he just want to settle for what he's got and throw a guard? Maybe a chance to score 3 if he went for the draw. So this is the big one. Maybe a renewed confidence here for Andre Koitmai after that super first draw. It's been a long time coming. Mike Matas enjoying himself, that's for sure. So it looks like this may be just a guard here from the Estonians, trying to block any sort of a raise for the United States. Yeah, well done. Well done. 2 good stones here from Andre Koitmai. Better late than never. And Toombs, the USA skip, not with not a lot of space to work with here. Needs to touch the button to score. You just have to look here at the amount of stones in play. 10 stones in play, probably going to be 11 in the second. That's just unheard of for a team with a 3-shot lead in the last stone advantage. That'll be something definitely the coaching staff will be drawing to the United States team's attention after the game. How did we end up in this position with so many stones in play? So final stone of the 7th end, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to need to be a good one for the Americans to cut Estonia down here.
I like it.
Doesn't look too far away.
13-6.
Great line.
Come on.
Really good line. How's the speed? Needs to get down there to get onto the 1 foot for a 1. Oh, comes up a little shy. It's a steal of 2 for Estonia. This game is not over yet. A really poorly played end by the United States, but a couple of great stones to complete the end from Koitmai. That's what's been missing here, and look at the difference. This one's come back to a 1-shot game here with just 1 end to play.
võimalus oli.
Veel 2 korda. But we can come right back out of it.
Fine.
That's good.
Estonia maintaining their lead in stats. 63% over 54. With that steal of 2 in the 7th end, the first steal of the game. That's not entirely true. They stole in the first end, but closing the gap to 1 here. The final end here, this 8th end, and Estonia will need to find another steal if they want to extend or win this game. This is their last opportunity to get points on the board here. USA don't need to score, they just need to stop Estonia scoring.
$13?
And Riederbach getting a good centre guard up. That's what was missing in the previous end, but they did get some assistance from the USA along the way. USA will be playing this whole end just to make sure that Matt Toombs has an easy shot to win the game.
Fine, good. Good-o. 12-6. 12-6, exactly T-line.
I shot O.
I shot O.
Nice draw there from Aranchimek down onto the edge of the button.
Kolmteist või 13,5?
13, 13-2.
So being nice and close to the button though, Estonia can make the freeze here. It could be quite a useful stone for the Estonians if they can make this one. We saw how it looks in the previous end. If you can get a couple of stones in there close to the button, then it really poses the question of your opposition. Matt Toombs, although he played a really nice draw, it just wasn't quite good enough to cut them down. It's another nice shot here from Riederbach there. That's a pretty standard setup when you're trying to steal, get those 2 centre guards on. And they're pretty close to the centre line too.
One over here.
How about just the intern draw down to it?
They're going to. They're going to do it.
Tag.
Yeah.
Come back same way, oh. We know this line. Let's go here.
Will we get by that guard?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you a little more.
All right. You got it, O. Yeah, you don't the second count here.
Okay.
Well, I think they've got the right idea about where they want to go here, but
12-7.
I think the team at the other end of the ice had the better perspective about what handle to play it on here. Certainly more room for error coming down the other side of the sheet. And they talked about stopping Estonia playing the draw. Well, they're going to come down on the other side. So it's a really tough shot here for Aranchimek.
Same thing. I like the gear. You've got to draw down to it.
Now this looks
12.
heavy and wide.
Now they come down, sit on it now.
Well, at least doesn't leave another guard. That drifts through the house.
Right off.
Now this shaping up to be, at the moment, quite a nice opportunity for Estonia to maybe steal here. Got the double centre guard on, and they've got a stone to freeze on close to the button too. And they've got their top guy coming up, Mike Matas, the top shooter so far in this game, 80%. So this is the keystone. If he can make this one, USA will not be sitting comfortably at all. Certainly got plenty of speed to get down there. Hasn't got too much though. Oh, drifts right on through. Oh, that must have been a takeout opportunity is all I can think of that they were trying. Not even close to making the draw.
You got it.
So now the free guard zone rules passed. The Americans could start to peel the guards and open things up. Much better tactical awareness here from the United States than in the seventh end. This is probably what they should have been doing there.
I like it.
Nice throw, Dave.
Perfectly done from Dave Samsa. Said in the previous end, he's been so good with the takeouts. Why change it? There's another one there.
Yeah.
jah.
no proovime korra.
So Estonia.
Läbi ei lähe.
Not out of this one yet. They need to get a good one here though from Mike Matas. Probably going to try and play that freeze once more. Freeze the stone on the button. If they could ever make it, have a great chance to steal here in this 8th end. Looks like a good line as he made a good adjustment from the previous one. Does look like it. Oh, what a shot here from Mike Matas, right down onto the button. That could be critical in this end, in this game.
Same weight you just threw.
You want the same weight?
Yeah.
It's open though.
Yep, nice move.
Take out possible here. You know, may not be a bad thing either for the Americans if they remove their own Yellowstone here as well.
It's that funky rock.
You got it.
You got it, Dave. You're in the broom.
So here's this stone that he's not a massive fan on.
Funky rock. I knew it. Come on,
rock.
curl hard, curl hard,
I'm not
curl
sure there's
hard.
such a thing as a bumpy
Come on,
rock.
Mom.
Oh, he's just feathered the guard as well. Oh my. He's just had a mental block with that stone throughout the whole game.
We got Dan up there, we got Eric, we got my parents, what else we got?
I tried to spin that thing. Remember that?
Teine variant tuleme siia järgi
I've
veel
never
juurde,
seen
aga
a
siis on jälle
bumpy
riskantne.
rock
Proovime praegu
before.
kaitsta.
Proovi.
Nad ise löövad nagunii. Nad ise löövad nagunii.
So Lowry Murasov got a stone in the button here. This is a great opportunity here for Estonia to steal. That's pretty good. Absolutely. Directly in line with that stone in the button. Don't think USA have any option but to peel the guard. This really is an exciting conclusion here on day 2.
Yeah.
Estonia and USA going all the way to the wire.
5 3/8.
Yes, sir.
Trying to peel the guard. Looks like he's got a good line here. He's trying to chip this guard off and roll away and open things up. Almost gets a piece of that other red and pushes it back towards the button as well. Just as well it didn't.
If they leave a real high one, I don't know. They just got to keep peeling on. Well, Matt's going to have to try to do it then, I guess.
So quite my still just sitting there quietly, going about his business, looking undeterred. Very quiet determination about the man and this entire Estonian team. So looking again for that centre guard. This is them pretty much setting their stall out now. They've got a good one down there. And this is another great guard here by Estonia, playing an excellent 8th end here.
Third of it.
You want to come at a 10?
Yeah.
Or even a 9, you'll get the 10, I think.
10.
I like the 10.
Yeah.
You chip that, that's okay.
Yep.
So a change of tactic here for the United States. They're going to try and come around and move that stone in the button. They think this may well be their best and possibly only opportunity to get it out of there. Steve into the takeout, trying to bend it around the guard here.
There it is.
Looks like a pretty good line. Coming down now. Oh, what a shot here from Steve Empt. What a shot indeed. He absolutely needed to make that one.
Good touch, right?
Any sort of a miss and USA could have been in big, big trouble.
You said 9-9.
So Estonia, looks like they're going for the takeout through the port here with this one. Could just throw the same draw and try and put it back in that position that USA just removed it from.
Oh, yeah.
So Matas and Riedebach considering their options. This is a very difficult takeout here. That port is much, much smaller than it looks, just because the stone will be curling from left to right. Difficult to say whether it's even possible.
Äkki peaks tulema, kuna see on seal alumine, et äkki peaks tulema.
On lihtsam tulla Audiga.
Yeah, I think it's a smart decision here from Andre Koitmai. He's gotten down to the other end and realised that the shot may not even be there on the clockwise handle. So switching to the other side, he's going to throw it anti-clockwise, and that just makes this gap between the two red guards that little bit bigger.
Kiire peab. Kiire.
On suunda okei või?
Nojah.
So Andre Koitmai, the right-hander.
Palju aega on?
Aega on rahulikult.
The stalwart of Estonian wheelchair curling. Playing his 57th international match. And maybe on the cusp of a huge comeback and a famous victory here in day 2 of the Paralympic Games. Estonia looking for their first ever win in a wheelchair curling event at the Paralympic Games. Doesn't want to peel the guard. Oh, he's peeled the guard. Really erred on the wrong side. That was not the professional side to miss that shot on. Should have been wide, if anything, and that is an absolute gift to the United States. Just didn't seem content about it. Got down the other end, changed his mind. So the United States should really peel the guard here.
Oh, yeah. Well, probably top 8.
14?
Yeah.
Choosing to come into the house, though. I think there's some work to be done for the United States on their defensive strategy, learning how to defend the lead.
That's all we need.
Could just peel that guard and it'd be pretty much game over.
14.
You feel like a guard's just going to potentially create
13,
opportunities for
I
like that better.
Okay.
You got it.
Estonia.
13-5, you said?
Certainly don't want to be light with this one, that's for sure. With the draw into the house.
A lot of work to do.
That's right, sit two.
Like a pretty good line here. This one more about the weight though.
13-9.
Looking for something just kind of in the front portion of the house.
A little more. That's a perfect stone, Skip. Very nice.
Really well done. Really well done indeed.
Couldn't trust that ice.
But for me, Andre Koitmai can still draw around that stone. If he could ever get to the top of the button, hidden in behind that yellow, then could still be a chance to steal here for Estonia. Marusov not messing around, already got the brush down. They know exactly what they need to do. You've got to think that although USA played that shot exactly as they called, then, but they might not have. They might have been better not even throwing it, to be perfectly honest. So this stone needs to be in shot position when it comes to rest, or the game is over. Just one United States stone to come. And Estonia have really struggled with the draw game. Their skips really struggled to get to grips with the speed of the ice. And this one, high, wide and handsome, goes right through the house. Well, that just sums up the game, really. The door opened there for Estonia. He just cannot find his draw weight, Andre Koitmai. And it's a real shame the game's ended that way, but the United States, probably the deserved winners, although they haven't been as good in the statistics. They have played a better game overall than the Estonians. When your skip isn't making the shots, it's so difficult to win a game of curling. So Estonia are going to have to wait a little longer for their first ever win at a Paralympic wheelchair curling event.
One in the books.
Stop right here.
But the United States picking up their first victory here in day 2 with a 2-shot victory over Estonia.
He's coming right here.
I know, I'm just Estonia.
So the handshakes, the knuckles come in.
Something's weird.
Just need to make sure that everybody knows the game's over here. Don't want to run themselves out of time or something ridiculous like that. But score 2 goes on the board for the United States. And the final score here, 9 shots to 6 in favor of the USA. Round robin, 11 teams, everybody plays everybody. And the United States of America defeating Estonia by 9 shots to 6. Still one game out there. The United States of America with some work to do on their defensive strategy. We saw them struggle in a game yesterday on day 1. Canada, Norway and Sweden, the only remaining undefeated teams. Estonia needing to wait a little bit longer to get their first win. Estonia the better team in the stats overall, 63% over 55, but that's why the skip gets paid the big bucks. They need to make their shots to win the games, and sadly for Estonia, Koitmai just not at his brilliant best today. Chinese fans, good to see some Chinese fans in here for this session, despite China not being in action. They'll be back soon, no doubt.
Give him a shout out, buddy.
Well, it was quite a game here, going right to the wire in the end. It didn't look like that would be the case after that score of 4 in the 5th end for the United States when they opened up a 4-shot lead. But Estonia fought their way back to a position where it looked like they might even steal and take the game to an extra end. It wasn't to be, however, and United States picking up their first win of this wheelchair curling event here at the 2022 Beijing Paralympic Games. Estonia will have to wait a little bit longer, playing in their first ever wheelchair curling event. They'll need to wait a little bit longer to get their first ever win at a Paralympic Winter Games. That's it for us on day 2 here in a match between Estonia and the United States. Final score, United States 9, Estonia 6.